Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and informations on Path of Exile. And the first news we got this week, and this has been an interesting week, is about some solo self-found statistics. And you can see the comparison between regular leagues, including both normal and hardcore, and solo self-found league, again including both normal and hardcore. And you can see the classes are pretty different, you'll say. Some of the strongest are definitely the Necromancer, Elementalist, Inquisitor, Berserker, and the Assassin as well. However, you do not see Pathfinder at all into the social found, which is kind of surprising, and you wouldn't guess that considering that the top 10 uniques used in the Legacy Leagues for the social found are a flask, another flask, and another flask again. So you would expect a Pathfinder, but maybe it's just because the Vessel of Vinctars is not that accessible, and that's definitely one of the biggest reasons you will go Pathfinder, which is of course because it's broken as fuck, the flask I mean, of course. And there's also the top 10 primary skills used in the Legacy Leagues, and for the solo self-found again you can see that most of those skills do not require a good weapon to be used. So they're either spells like Flame Blast, or they are minions like Raise Zombie, Ancestral Warchief, which is just good in every situation. And then there's the usual Cyclone, Earthquake, Blade Vortex, which are just way too strong to pass at, and you can definitely get a decent weapon and use those as well. So it's very interesting to see this. And you can compare those with the normal leagues, but I mean, it's no surprise what's on the regular list, so we'll skip that. And we also got a teaser for the Aberrath fight, and Aberrath is going to be one of the minor gods, which you will encounter between Act 6 and 10. You will find Aberrath in Act 6, so that's pretty nice. He is the god of the Goatman, and he's probably going to be like somewhere around the climb, I'm going to guess, which is very similar to the Gorge, which has the unique goat boss as well, so that might be where everything happens. And I'm not gonna show the video, some of you might not want to spoil themselves. The fight, I'm going to say, is pretty damn interesting. It's not exactly on level with the Brine King one, because the Brine King is one of the big gods, so his fight is definitely going to be much more interesting. But still, this one is pretty good as well, and it's also kind of quite mechanical, I will say. So yeah, that's good. I think mechanical fights are much better than just straight up DPS checks or armor checks. So definitely going to a very interesting way with all of the new boss fights that GG has been put out. But anyway, if you want to experience that boss fights and everything else, well, you might be able to get an access to the beta. So we finally got word that the beta will start on June 7 US time, and US time is probably going to start in the evening. Well, I mean, in the evening for Europe, and then it's going to be morning for America, and late night or the day after for Australia, which is generally when the new leagues start, so I'm not gonna be surprised about that. However, the current leagues will end on the 29th of May, which is this month, so just a couple more weeks left in the current leagues. So if you want to get your challenges done, be sure to do those in time. And the beta is going to run for around 6 weeks, so that's pretty much how long it's gonna be. Which means that the official release is going to be in July, probably mid-July, maybe even late July, I don't really know, but definitely when the game is actually ready. GG doesn't really want to launch an expansion like this with features that are not ready, because that's going to be very bad publicity, especially considering that it's going to attract a lot of new players. Also considering how many new players just came in with the Bridge Leagues and the Legacy Leagues, even though they weren't very big expansion themselves. There are two ways to get into the beta. One is by actually paying. If you purchase one of the newest packs that are going to come out, you will be granted access, whatever pack you get. If you purchased in the past one of the top tier packs of $440 or above, you will be granted access. Also, if your total lifetime purchases combine to over $500, you will also be granted access straight up without having to get anything else. However, if you're not into these groups, GGG said they will pick like 500 to 1,000 players each day, for example, and send out the invites simultaneously. Also, they will be silent about those waves. They will not have a timer, because as much as it was fun the first time, the second time around it just brought more negativity from players, so they decided to stop with that. There's also going to be a beta for the Xbox version, and nothing has been announced for that yet. And the beta includes Act 1 through 8, so there's actually quite a lot of content to enjoy. Act 9 and 10 will be released with the final release, so that's going to be interesting, and I think that's really great, because that way you will have something new with the new release, and unlike the Awakening where we saw everything beforehand, there's actually going to be something fresh that keeps the interest up. And the Pantheon system should be in the beta as well, because otherwise how will they balance it, right? Everything else is pretty obvious. Also, do not ask GGG for beta keys, because they actually get way too many questions and they're not going to release any keys randomly, so just wait in line for your turn. If you're lucky, you'll get in. If you're not, well, tough luck. Just check out your favorite streamer, because I'm going to guess pretty much every single streamer on the block is going to be streaming this, so you won't have any problems. We also got some more answers to the damage over time questions. There's a lot of stuff here. Again, just gonna skip over this because it's a lot of random stuff and doesn't really have a connection. But if you're planning for a poison, ignite or bleed build, you definitely want to check those out. Again, I'll put the link in the description below. And we also got very interesting news here. I really like this one because it's a new minimap. So pretty much what we got in the past, we had this minimap, and as you can see, it's pretty damn hard to see. I mean, I am really used to it, so I don't have a problem with it, but for a newer player, it's definitely really hard to understand. Also, it doesn't show everything. For example, you can see this block here that will stop the character from actually running over it. It's not shown in the minimap, so that's pretty damn annoying. However, with the new minimap, which you can see here, you can see that everything is actually drawn, and it's pretty damn straight and understandable, so that you will not have any doubt of where you can actually walk on, and also where you've been and where you've not. So you can see these blue lines are actually discovery lines, which means that outside of these zones, it's where you haven't been yet. They don't really look that good while on a still image. However, if you take a look at the video, which is going to be in the news, you can see when you walk around and you discover the zone, it feels really good. Also, nice waves here. Anyway, you can see that the map now has a very high resolution, and it's pretty much textured with the same textures that are in-game, as in the same models, so it feels really familiar, and it's really clear where you can walk and where you cannot walk, except a couple of things, maybe like on the borders of the walls. But anyway, you can see it's really clear. You can see like all of the rocks and pebbles and all the kind of stuff, so it's pretty damn good. I think this change is actually extremely good, especially for newer players which are going to come in, and it's just one thing less that they will have to basically slam their face on until they understand it. So much better thing. I think this is going to be a great change for the game overall. And you can see the textures here, which are just the same, pretty much the zones and the tile sets which already are used. So GGG didn't really need to put way too much effort into this, and they obtained a really good result. You can probably also go back to the old map style. I think that's an option as well. So if you just like the old map, you can go with that as well. but I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely much more readable, and right now I can't wait to actually try that out. By the way, the beta is a different client, so don't patch your own client over it. And actually, you can see some kind of interesting information here. This might not be Act 3, because as you can see, there's a pier here that goes here and into the sewer over here. So this might actually be Act 8. Pretty interesting information. I didn't notice that before. I mean, I did notice the ship, which, okay, that's Act 6, but I mean, didn't notice this little thing. Pretty nice to know. Nice GGG. They are always trolling us in every possible way. That's really funny. But anyway, that was all for this week. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So that was all. I've been your host Zorzo, and I'll see you guys the next time.